All right, I'm going to introduce your host. Usually there's a mic stand behind me. That's why I looked over there. But your host for the evening of the Crime Podcast, and I want you to make a lot of noise. Please give a big round of applause for Rich Slaton and John Shefsky.
Crime is the show that starts now. Like right now? Oh, yeah, do your laugh. Okay.
Give it up for jailbait stoners, all right? There we go. Welcome to Crime. We're just going to get right into it.
We're just going to do it right away?
Yeah, let's do this thing.
All right, you just dropped something out of your pocket, though.
Oh, what? I don't care.
Okay, that's the good attitude.
Crime is a show where I, Rich Slaton, read a true story about lawbreakers.
And I, John Shefsky, drink a beer in Sacramento and just interrupt him a bunch.
It's not different from what you do anywhere else.
Well, any city.
That's mostly the thing that you do.
Yeah, it's the right thing to do, right?
Guys, if you have a friend who drinks beer and interrupts a lot, you might want My Friend's an Asshole insurance from our good buddy Joe Erle at
C3 Risk and Insurance Services.
Guys, Joe is an insurance broker. What does that mean? I'm not entirely sure. But he'll get you insurance. That's what it comes down to. So if you need car insurance, house insurance,
Sacramento insurance.
I don't know what that is specifically.
You need
Flood
it.
insurance, maybe. That seems reasonable. He'll get that for you. So go ahead and call him. Call him directly. It's 619-233-8000 or c3insurance.com/show. I should know that number by now.
I can't believe you don't. I can't believe I don't.
Yeah. So go ahead, call him up. Tell him that Shefsky sent you.
He loves me.
And if you get a policy, he'll give you a $25 gift certificate to Amazon. I don't know what you'd use that for. I'm not in your personal business. But go ahead and get a policy of insurance. We sell insurance on this show, guys. That's how we pay the bills here.
That's when you know you're really doing it in this industry.
And sometimes, guys, it's not all fun and games. Sometimes you have insurance for bad things happening. And a bad thing that might happen is that something or someone you love dies. And what do you do when that happens? Well, you could bury them like an animal, or you could cremate them like a gentleman. Mm-hmm. And then what do you do with the ashes? Do you put them on your desktop or whatever? I don't know where you put them. So what our friend D. Ketelson from A Piece That Remains.
They're just looking at you like, what is he talking about? Ashes? Ash insurance?
Our other sponsor, D. Ketelson from A P-E-A-C-E That Remains. That's a fun
Sometimes a loved one dies and you don't just want to cremate them and throw their ashes away.
Yeah. So what you do is you mix it in with paint, and then she makes a painting.
She makes a painting out of your loved ones.
It's the best way to hide a body in plain sight. So there you go.
Tell me you don't want that to happen.
Go to a P-E-A-C-E that remains.com, and you can get either dead art or not dead art. Whichever
you don't have to put ashes.
Like.
She'll do regular paintings.
She'll make it for you and send it. We have some in our home, the not dead kind. So
we think there's nobody in them.
Yeah, we're pretty sure. We don't know.
She's probably spilling a little bit.
It's not unlikely. So go visit our sponsors. I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you guys specifically, but people are listening to this on the actual show.
Dee's listening to this. Can you guys on the count of three say hi, Dee?
1, 2, 3. Hi, Dee. Yeah, we haven't done that before.
Hi,
that
Dee.
was kind of fun.
We should make them say crime. They're like saying.
Oh, that's fun too.
Can you do crime on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3.
That feels like we've started now properly. All right, guys. Well, it's not just myself and my friend Jonathan David Shefsky here. Full name Erle, bro. We often have guests, or every time I guess we have guests on this show. So today we have two fantastic guests from the Anti-Cooperation League, Corky McDonnell, and from Lady Business and You the Musical. Please put your hands together for Michelle Petro.
Come on out, yeah! Sit down over there, Corky.
Yes.
Oh man.
We can take seats and everything now. Welcome to the place where you are most of the time.
Yes.
So,
thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
You guys know this stage. Like, you know how this stage feels.
That's actually my spot right there that you're sitting in.
Bro, you're in a spot.
Yeah,
Are you an alpha male? Am I in danger?
No, I'm beta as fuck, dude.
Okay, cool.
Proud of
Two
you,
betas, two master betas, right here on stage. We're good.
Beta off.
That's an early sorry mom.
Oh, sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom. She's
Thank
here
God.
tonight, guys.
Oh,
so,
she is here tonight.
For any of you listen to the show, actual mom, who we don't say sorry to his mom, by the way, because I don't know why. We don't only to mine.
Well, my mom doesn't listen to the show very
That's
often.
why we don't say.
So
yeah,
we don't have to apologize.
Screw you,
Yeah.
Shefsky's mom.
Whatever, Mrs. Mom.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
wish you would listen.
That's actually what this is all about.
Is that the route I should take? Catch more bees with honey? Just be like, Mom, I wish you'd listen instead of being like every episode.
Just tell her how you feel,
right.
John.
Do bees like honey? I thought bees just made honey. Do you catch bees with honey?
Yeah, you don't do that at all. Bees
These
specifically.
are like, why are you giving me my shit back.
But yeah, exactly.
What are you
Yeah.
doing? No,
Bro, I made that for you.
You know what's funny is I assumed it was him who made the mistake, or he. I don't know which. Sorry, Mom, for a grammar mistake. I don't know which one it is properly. So I just took. I took whatever mistake you might have made, and I put it on my friend here. So
So bees don't like their own honey?
No.
No.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
These
I
are-
never tried.
Romulus Brinkley.
Romulus?
Yeah, that's his middle name.
A Star Trek story for Sacramento.
Was born July 8th, 1885
Okay.
in Beta, North Carolina. That's where you're from.
Oh, whoa,
Yeah,
Beta.
exactly. That's the
George.
hometown.
Yeah.
Hometown.
His father, John Sr., was a poor mountain man who served as a Confederate medic in the Civil War.
Ooh, Confederate. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a red flag. That's a red flag. to start.
Hashtags
You know
right
what?
away. What?
They went earth tones, though, so I gotta feel at least that was pretty nice.
Okay.
All right? John Sr.'s first marriage was annulled on account of his being underage.
Wait,
All
he,
right,
he was
that's
underage?
But we
That's
love
the
each
party
other.
corner over there.
He was underage?
He
or-
was underage, yeah.
Oh, his chick was older than him?
I have no idea what she was doing.
Oh, that's a real fist bump, right?
Yeah,
It didn't
congratulations.
Go get him,
matter
Civil War
at that
guy.
time.
Get them cougars.
Ages were irrelevant at that time.
I just meant ladies. Like they didn't talk about. They probably didn't talk about her.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
fine.
I mean,
We're
like from a
fine.
historical
We're
perspective,
fine. We're
like
fine.
oppression
Well,
and all.
During the Civil War and stuff, you know.
I'm picking up what you're laying down. All right.
Cool.
You're wiping what she's pooping?
See, his first marriage
You're
was annulled on
smelling
account
it.
of the being underage, so to make up for it, he married 3 more times, but each one died of disease.
Sure.
That's,
The old
yeah.
days, huh?
Paprice penicillin.
Right?
You know how that goes.
Paprice.
Look, Patrick, I've cut myself. Prepare my eulogy. Remember
That's
me.
how it
Prepare the
still is.
painting for me to be cremated in, honey.
Finally, he married Sarah Mingus in 1870, and she lived.
Yeah.
Right? Give it
Got
up.
a live one.
I like how you stared him down till they wooed.
Yeah. I just wanted
You
to
have a
give-
job to do, audience. God damn it!
You're a part of this.
Woo!
But John Sr. had grown accustomed to sleeping with one woman for only so long.
Sure.
And soon found his way to the
Well,
bed.
you can relate?
I get that.
I thought you said you were a beta.
No, well, true, I am.
Okay.
But that's how we do it in North Carolina. That's where.
Yeah, there you
that's
go.
how we do it in North
Okay,
Carolina.
all right.
Only one woman for so long.
Sustained.
I'll allow it.
So he
counselor.
soon found his way to the bed of another Sarah, his wife's 24-year-old live-in niece.
Ow! Where's our howler?
Yeah, I don't know what this side. I feel like it's this side is the party side, and this side is the what did we end up doing here
Yeah.
side. I'm not sure
Yeah.
yet. Get on board this side.
Ecstasy,
All right.
hysterectomy.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah! Get these people some coffee. All right.
The family, to avoid confusion of which Sarah was being discussed, decided to give one of them the name Sally. And that was Mrs. Brinkley, who they just decided to change her name and make
That's
her...
rough.
Yeah.
Your husband's fucking another woman with your name, so it's like you got to change your name now.
Your niece. It's
Yeah,
not
your
just
niece.
another woman. That is your niece. That has the same name as you.
Yeah. So your
From
name is
your
now
family.
changed.
You think they named her in honor of Mrs. Brinkley?
Yeah.
And then she's like, shit, that...
Did he have a
It's
choice
like
in naming
single
her?
white female happening.
And he went with another SA name too, just because. Sally, right? So he could catch himself if he ever got it
Oh,
wrong.
yeah, I like
What
that.
bed.
sounds the same but's easier?
If you only ever had affairs with people that had the same name as your partner, you'd never get in trouble for calling out the wrong name.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Their
That's a good
contacts in your
idea.
phone would always
Yeah.
be them, right?
Yeah, if my wife
Yeah.
had another Shefsky boyfriend, I'd be
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Your wife
Nothing-
calls you Shefsky?
Moving on. Huh? No, only by request. I hold up my headshot during sex. Use my stage name, baby.
Yeah. And then she goes, skeet, skeet.
Skeet, skeet, chef, skeet, skeet, skeet. That was good.
But luckily
Are you surprised?
for Sally...
But luckily, I
There
heard
you
you,
go.
baby. I'm listening.
I know, I'm with you, dude. Her niece died 5 years later of what mountain people
Oh my
called...
God, you made a really fun
Luckily for
sentence into that.
Sally.
Yeah, well, so this chick stole her name. Second Sarah died of the White Plague, a.k.a. tuberculosis. But they kept calling Mrs. Brinkley Sally.
No, my name is Sarah.
Not anymore.
No.
Yeah.
We already changed the letter.
I can't hear you, Sally.
No, but my mom's Sarah Brinkley.
Yeah, no, I'm not. You know, I don't remember any of this.
Any relation to Christy Brinkley? Just curious.
John Sr. and Sally
I'm a
moved
regular
to
Billy
East
Joel.
LaPorte, bringing John the bastard with them.
Oh, Jesus.
In 1895, John Sr. took ill, complaining of chest pains and difficulty passing water, and died soon after.
Like a cat that can't pee.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, they get crystals in their pee hole. You guys know that, right? You guys have cats? Yeah. Our cat people. Ow! Yeah, Fluffy's backed up right now as I'm at the show.
The family was now so poor, they lashed burlap sacks to their feet to use as snow boots.
That actually sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
That would get soggy.
Right? Gore-Tex?
There wasn't gore.
Well,
I can't
enough
even
burlap
have-
is Gore-Texy.
Okay,
You can walk around in burlap.
fair enough.
Yeah.
John Jr. attended school in a one-room log cabin for the 3 to 4 months a year it was actually open. He spent the rest of his time dreaming of a future where he was a famous hero. By taking an assassin's bullet to save the president, or by freeing the slaves.
That was his fantasy? That he would do one of
Yeah.
those two things?
Yeah, but unfortunately for John, 20 years prior to this moment, Abraham Lincoln had already freed the slaves before being shot dead.
Oh, man. Betsy DeVos schools, huh? Oh,
News
poor kid.
traveled
He didn't know.
like
Hey guys, I got a
molasses.
dream. I'm
Yeah.
gonna invent motorized transport. Okay? I'm gonna invent motorized transport. I'm gonna do it. Regardless that it's been invented for 100 years already.
Yeah.
That's my
Sounds like
dream.
a great idea.
It's
You
either
should
that or
invest most of your money into that now.
it's already begun. I'm head over heels on this.
Do you guys see what he's doing right now?
I don't.
Okay. Go on with your story.
So in
Spring.
1891, he settled for becoming a mail carrier for a whopping $8. I made it to the second page without making
You
a
did
mistake,
good.
Jonathan.
I was going to correct. I was like, no, I think he knows.
Thank you. Settling for a whopping $8 a month, which translates to $237 a month today. So, yeah, pretty bad. But John's ambitions did not disappear. In his spare time, he began studying medical books in hopes of following in his father's footsteps. Eventually, people took notice of all the reading, and his boss offered to pay for a round trip to Johns Hopkins, where he could apply to their famous medical school.
What year was this?
1890-something.
Damn, Johns Hopkins is old. I didn't know that it was around that long.
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
Why do you think it's so good? The longer it's been around, the better it is.
That's what I say. The
Like
darker,
religion, you know?
darker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Don't you comment on the finger,
I'm
chefs.
not.
The admissions officer took one look at his dirty shirt and suspenders and recommended that he continue carrying the mail.
Listen, honey. You need to turn yourself right around and deliver that mail.
John
Yes.
returned home sobbing, but he would not be a mail carrier for long.
What
He
would
was-
happen?
That's what the next sentence is.
Yeah. He gets me excited.
He was quickly promoted to telegraph operator, making $45 a month, $12.89 today.
Nice.
Using a finger to tap messages in Morse code. You were excited by very unique things.
I love your enthusiasm. I get excited.
No, I'm on board, but it's just like I never thought Morse code. Get it!
They got cats. They're into Morse code.
It's like almost a response to Slayer.
yeah,
but-
yeah. Slayer.
All right, yeah. I figured.
Oh, wait, we got a Misfits shirt on over there.
Slayer's
Yeah.
a band that the
Just
kids
in
listened
time.
to in like 1986. I don't know what this.
Just
Okay.
in time for Halloween.
4
song.
years later, he moved on up the finger tapping ladder to New York City and then back down to New Jersey.
New York City. Get a rope. Paste pecani sauce?
I don't know that one.
Guys don't remember the paste pecani sauce commercial? Oh, thanks. 3 minutes after the riff. Thank you.
But he was forced to return home in 1906 when Aunt Sally passed away.
Okay, I'm lost. How many Sallys and how many Sarahs do we
Two
have? right now?
Sallies.
So hold on.
two Johns.
There's
John
Dad
Jr.
John and Son John.
Yep.
Dad John dead.
There's
No
Johns
more.
Hopkins. That's
That's-
another one.
Oh, my God.
That's John too.
That's
John.
right.
I'm John.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Real name is John.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
How? You told me it was Chuck.
But I go by Sally.
Okay, fair.
I'm starting to think you're an alpha.
Okay, so
got
just
a
to set the
bunch of
stage,
lies.
Dad John.
Dad John?
marries Sarah as his fifth wife.
Correct.
She survives.
Yes.
They have baby John. Then Dad John. No, they don't have baby John. Sorry. Then Dad
You're
John.
confused telling the
Shut
story.
up. I wrote it today. So
Okay.
then Dad John marries Sarah.
Okay.
Then he starts having sex with other Sarah.
Who wouldn't?
Niece Sarah.
Okay.
They change Mrs. Sarah into Sally.
Okay.
Niece Sarah has baby John.
Baby John's the
Dad
star.
John dies.
Dad John's
now
dead.
Aunt Sally, who is Mrs. Brinkley Sarah, original, dies. Also original. His mom Sarah died. All the Sarahs are dead.
Okay.
There's no Sarah's
Half
left.
the Johns are dead.
Okay.
Who is alive? Just give us a short little list of who's alive still.
John.
John.
There you go.
That's it.
That's the whole life.
We just
now.
got John. Okay.
That's the whole life.
Baby
Easier
John.
to track.
So he goes home in 1906 when Aunt Sally, original Sarah, dies.
Okay.
And he's very distraught, and so he found comfort in the arms of
Another Sally?
another Sally.
Are you
There you
serious?
go. Yeah.
Oh my God.
See how that comes around?
Mommy issue.
I put effort into this.
How many Sallys are there?
Somebody has mommy issues.
But auntie issues, right?
Auntie
They're
issues.
auntie issues.
That is it.
How do you know which one it is, really?
Yeah.
Exactly. By that time, it's just all
More like
fucking
Sally
mishmash.
issues.
That's a good point.
We all do, though, don't we?
22-year-old Mrs. Wyke, Sally Wyke, they married a month afterwards.
It's the old days,
After they
man.
met?
Wow.
Yeah.
You gotta act
no,
fast.
No. They went to school together as kids, but then he'd been gone for a while. Comes back. Oh, I'm sad my mom's dead. Oh, are you really? Now they're married.
Okay. I go by Sally now. Oh, I'm in there.
Yeah, her name was Sarah originally. She
Yeah,
was
exactly.
Like, I'm going to keep up with this. John soon again changed careers, becoming a Quaker doctor.
Sure.
Treating things with oats.
Right? Yeah. What? Just throwing oatmeal on there.
Almost.
Jesus will solve this. Have some oats.
Yeah, like most snake oil salesmen, Quaker doctors were all about the act, but with the twist of pretending to be members of the Christian sect to capitalize on the Quakers' reputation for ethical practice.
They're the best.
Ethics.
Free tickets to all future crime shows.
We like charlatans.
Yeah.
Woo!
Can we get a little more in Michelle's mic, by the way? I feel like it's a little low here, and I want to hear those dulcet tones.
Let's do it.
That's sweet. I didn't want to say anything, but I did feel
Oh,
like I was.
I hear.
Yeah.
I hear.
Thanks.
And I see you. That's right.
Thanks. Thanks, guys.
I don't know. I didn't think that was that.
You know, the
Of
listeners
anything.
can't
Talk
see
about
me,
charlatans,
so
huh?
It doesn't matter.
Pandering little bitch over here in the corner. I see you, ladies.
After gathering a crowd through flyers and word of mouth, the typical act opened with some musical entertainment followed by a morality play, in which some fine, upstanding citizen died of an illness easily cured by a certain tonic.
Hey, everybody, we are Quaker's Doctor. To get us started tonight, we're just going to need one word, do some improv for you. We're going to sell you all kinds of snake oils and everything, but what's something that you're suffering from right now?
Rheumatoid arthritis.
Did I hear rheumatoid arthritis?
Rheumatoid arthritis.
If you really had rheumatoid arthritis, you couldn't say that right now.
Oh,
You'd
man.
be laying on the ground suffering from consumption.
And scene.
Yes, and.
Finally, the doctor would take the stage dressed in a Quaker dinner plate hat and side-button pants, offering the cure everyone so desperately needed. With
Dick.
Yeah. You're...
Vitamin D.
I
Did you
cannot
just
wait
say
till we
Dick?
get... Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He belongs on this show.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Your parents are just like, oh,
I just
God
can't...
damn it, there's another Shefsky.
With Sally as his assistant/audience plant, John sold sugar water up and down the coast.
Of course.
Someone's on
They
keto?
didn't woo
Is that
this
what's going
time.
on?
They didn't woo this time. They're just like,
They're like, oh, man.
Yummy.
Hawaiian
It's been
punch.
all protein and veggies for so long.
Fly.
Really- sugar and water is really not that great. I mean, I heard
It is
yummy.
If you're a fly.
Are you calling them flies?
What? No.
No. He eventually took a position at a shop in Knoxville, Tennessee, as assistant to a Dr. Burke, whose primary qualification as a doctor was owning a white lab coat.
Yes.
When a customer entered, Dr. Brinkley's job was to escort him past a series of cases containing male members afflicted with increasingly horrific stages of syphilis.
Right. Pre-penicillin.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
The last stop was a room with the boy.
Oh, it just doesn't sound good at all.
Here we go.
Is our host going to come back out and act out this scene for us? Benton, get out here. We need a boy.
A glass box contained a wax figure of an idiot and a plaque reading "Lost Manhood." Idiot meant you were deficient back then. That was their medical term for
We
what
got
we
to bring
would
that
say.
back. They call their
Kids.
cocks their idiots?
No, not their cocks.
Oh, their balls?
No, they're special people. I don't know what the appropriate term is
I
now.
thought you
It
meant their
changes every week.
penises.
I'm afraid to say like
You said there's a wax,
developmentally challenged.
a glass box with a wax sculpture in it.
of a developmentally challenged.
Oh, I thought you meant
of an idiot.
I thought you
that's
meant
what they
genitalia.
said. No. There were a bunch of dicks first. So increasingly bad dicks, and then it leads to a wax figure of an idiot, and it says like, well, here's what happens if your dick goes all weird.
Oh.
Yeah.
The diseased dicks were just the
Yeah.
warm-up act.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's a warning, a wax warning.
Insecure masculinity.
I chose
like,
this
at
one
its
special for you
finest.
guys. Just so you know.
Setting it
I think we
up.
walked one person who was like, oh,
That's
it's
all
gonna be
right.
this kind of show.
They just went to the
Yeah.
bathroom
All right.
to masturbate. It's fine.
That's fair.
If I knew there were going to be this many dicks,
That's
I
right.
might.
Don't worry,
have
there's wax vaginas on
said-
page 7. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
After that, it was easy. Introduce the mark to Dr. Burke, who would ask him in-depth diagnostic questions like, do you sometimes suffer from fatigue? And are you ever thirsty?
Like there's no clean water. Of course, people are thirsty.
And
you know,
Chicago
it's like,
had a-
well, yes. Like it's like
there's mead.
Oh, I am. Am I really that sick? Oh, doctor.
You know, Chicago had an alcoholism problem because all their
Cleaner.
water was stained with like animal feces.
Yeah.
So it was just safer to drink.
That was all of
booze.
history.
Yeah.
That's how we all got here.
That's like
fair
beer is
why
the
society
life
is the way it
source.
was. People were drunk for like 5,000 years.
Yeah. Like kind of like halfway drunk. Like,
We're just
yeah,
trying to
that's a
get
good
rid of that
idea.
now. We're like, come on, guys.
Then it was easy to sell the cure for somewhere between $10 and $20 or $258 to $500 today.
Oh, like
Wow.
a Tony Robbins concert. Not
Mm-hmm.
that big of a deal. Invest in
well-
yourself, people.
It's a lot.
But eventually, John Brinkley grew tired of the show. He still wanted to become a real doctor, so the couple relocated to Chicago, home of the American Medical Association and several well-respected medical schools. John strolled right past all of those
ITT Tech Doctor Certificate.
to Bennett Eclectic Medical College, which is exactly what it sounds like.
That sounds great. Eclectic Medical?
Yeah.
We are a medical college that does medical college assignments.
Yeah. And we like Ween and NWA. You know what I mean? Like we're an eclectic medical college.
But it was cheaper and easier than the fancy schools, so John borrowed $25 from a loan shark and enrolled in classes.
Was
He
the
took-
shark's name Sally?
He took classes during the
I
day,
was just
worked at
curious.
Telegraph at night, and spent the intervening
Outside
time
Sally.
getting drunk. Eventually, the long hours, the booze, a baby, and mounting debt took its toll on the marriage. John returned home one night to find Sally had gone, suing him for divorce and child support. He made 2 payments before he had enough, kidnapped his own daughter, and fled to Canada.
Okay.
Oh,
No
that's
woo-
the checkout
no woo
point?
for Canada,
That's where we lost you?
Yeah.
Diseased dicks we're on board for.
Amber alerts, no go.
Then, let's see. Sally, unable to get an extradition order for her estranged husband, dropped her suit, and the couple got back together.
That's love.
That
As
worked.
you do.
You guys,
in the early-
offer the sad part, but don't ooh for the heartwarming part.
Early 1900s, hard time for a single mom. Whoa.
The next year, she bore him another daughter and promptly left again.
Of course. I'm going out for doctor's coats. I'm going.
John, with no degree and even more debt, followed his family to North Carolina, where he set up shop as an undergraduate physician. But no one wanted a doctor with no degree. So he tried to finish his 3rd year in St. Louis. Unfortunately, Bennett Eclectic refused to send his transcripts on account of all the unpaid tuition.
Sure.
He rejoined Sally and the now 3 children for a few months.
Wait, we slipped another one in there somehow?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
the? He took one to Canada, came back, they had another one,
Yeah.
and then we got a third one.
Milkman.
Ah. Sally's-
Literally.
I smell a milkman.
Yeah.
My
Sally-
hands smell like milk because I have a new baby. I don't know if anyone knows. Okay, never mind.
Congratulations.
That's a weird
We
way
gotta
to
bring this
introduce
up.
a new baby thing, though.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Clap it up for the baby.
Yeah, he's 8 weeks old. Our entire house smells like milk. I don't know what that means.
It always smells
If
like
we're doing
milk.
it wrong or whatever, but he's alive. So
And
good-
congrats
good
to
for him.
Slaton's parents for being grandparents.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, grandparents.
L'chaim!
Gosh. Yeah.
Oh yeah, did we tell the listeners we're in Sacramento? We said that earlier, didn't
I think we did.
Okay,
We
good.
offered Sacramento insurance at the beginning of the
Oh
show.
yeah, you're
We're
right.
fine.
You're right. I don't
They'll
listen
know.
to. I just read, dude.
Don't worry.
916.
He rejoined Sally and the now 3 children a few months before she gave him an ultimatum. His family or his medical career, they didn't even bother with a divorce.
What does that mean? He went to Canada again?
I wonder if she got the sentence out before he's like, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah.
I need to be a doctor.
It's your medical career, or where are you going?
He steals
Can
her.
I keep the house?
In 1913, Brinkley teamed up with James Crawford, a one-armed huckster from Mississippi, to open a new business in Greenville, South Carolina, the Greenville Electromedical Doctors.
Is that a band?
And the entire scheme The entire scheme is we make an electric arm for me. The one-armed, whatever you said.
I like if he moves like that the whole time, too.
Yes.
Just throw you off a little bit.
Am I gonna die, doctor?
Well, let me tell you, with my magic electric arm.
The Greenville electromedical doctors began running ads in the local paper asking, "Are you a manly man full of vigor?"
That's who the doctors are trying to recruit are?
Men came from all over the county to treat their erectile dysfunction.
Oh, hymns.
The doctors then
Yeah, right.
injected the men in the rear ends with colored water they described as, quote, electric medicine from Germany
Yeah. Give you that placebo boner.
at $25 a shot, which was a lot now.
$325 today.
Yeah, it was about $600 today.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Dudes have been chasing boners for
Ever.
All
right?
of eternity.
Yeah,
they
because
invented
blue
the
chews
wheel.
seem very affordable now.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was somebody in Garden of Eden trying to sell Adam on some kind of boner pill.
I think it's
if
because
it was real.
your blood goes away from your brain, so it's like, you guys
It makes
are
you
always
stupider?
constantly like, yeah, I want to not.
No, this is
think so
fascinating.
much.
Please explain hard-ons to me, Michelle.
Well, so the thing is,
I love the strut
the
too
thing
that she was doing it.
So here you go. I just think, I kind of, no, I don't want to reverse explain you.
Are you trying to woman-splain hard-ons to us?
And I am for it. Let me tell you that right now.
2018 of all the times. 2 months later, customers arrived to find the shop was closed. The men skipped
Funny.
town, leaving local merchants with 30 to 40 unpaid lines of credit.
They literally skipped out of town.
Yeah. Holding hands.
Yeah.
Come back. Holding a stump on one guy. Just skipping out down.
Well, you can't actually walk when you're that erect. So
They like the way it feels. when it jumps
Again,
on.
Michelle, doing this with the hard-on thing. I love this. Hard-ons are known for doing this.
Like that bridge video, the bridge moves and flexes. With
Who?
the boner.
Slow-mo, you never know.
The old bridge.
They made their way to Memphis, Tennessee, where James introduced John to Minnie Jones, the 21-year-old daughter of a local physician. 4 days later, John and Minnie got married,
4 days.
ignoring the fact that Brinkley still technically had a wife. The honeymoon didn't last long because only a few months later, the Greenville sheriff arrived to arrest the new groom for practicing medicine without a license and passing bad checks.
Yeah, because homie rode a horse. That's why it took so long.
John immediately sold out his partner, who was picked up in a nearby town. James was fined thousands of dollars. John only $200, which was taken care of by his new father-in-law.
I gotta say, this makes me happy to be an American. This
Yeah?
story, America at this time, you could have done anything
Yeah.
and gotten away with it. It was wide open. You're just selling snake oil.
And if you married some rich dude's daughter, it was
Right.
like, you gotta fucking pay for that shit.
Some people say this was the best America.
Right, exactly.
I don't know who those people are, but some people do say that.
Let's have a politics discussion in the middle of the show.
Just break it
John
down.
again tried his hand as a
Capital.
traveling physician, but he earned very little without any actual degree, so he scraped together enough money to enroll at the extremely inexpensive Kansas City Eclectic Medical University.
A lot of eclectic medical stuff in this story, huh? Why don't you just get an Uber license or whatever?
Where he finished his degree, and by finished, I mean he bought it for $100. Now licensed in 8 states, he was able to land a job as a physician and clerk at a Kansas City meatpacking plant.
You're
Okay.
dead. I pronounce him dead. This nice piece of steak.
It was a boring job for the 31-year-old. The only form of entertainment was watching the billy goats have sex as they waited in a pen to be slaughtered.
Wasn't he supposed to be doing doctor stuff? Wait, was he a doctor at the meatpacking plant?
I mean, that was his job. He was hired to be a doctor. He wasn't actually.
Was it like a
you know the
Google
story
kit?
we're doing right now, right?
No.
So he
Should I have already picked this up?
Hold on.
Wait, what's
So,
going on?
He's
Where
not
am
a
I?
vet, so he's not a veterinarian, so he
No, he's a
wasn't
doctor.
taking care of the animals. He was supposed to be like the resident physician for the factory
For the factory.
workers.
For, like, the workers, like
the
a Google
meat-packing
campus,
people.
where they
but
go to
then,
their doctor.
But the meat packing
Lot of
industry,
downtime.
it was like, ho, ho, ho.
People are
You're
just like-
just a name, not actual doctor.
We're getting so aroused watching these billy goats have sex in the pen waiting to be slaughtered. Our dicks are doing this.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got it. I got the cure.
If I would have
here."
known when the clinic was open, I could have shared this information with our customers. We wouldn't have had to put the punch in their butt. We could have just sold them billy goats to fuck in front of them.
I got electric water here. It's going to work.
He was impressed by their, quote, considerable lubricity
Damn, them billy goats get wet.
and learned from a meat inspector that the goats had the least illness of any livestock.
Inspect my meat.
By 1917, John and Millie had settled into a nice little life. He had a moderately successful practice, had officially divorced Sally, and officially remarried his current wife, and even been elected... Oh, just you wait. And even elected mayor of their small town.
What the fuck?
Perfect.
I know, huh? Take it all, right? Yeah. You've won everything. The job, the woman, the mayor job.
The goats.
Yeah, the goat sex channel.
But that all changed when John, an Army reservist, was called up to serve in World War I.
Oh, shit.
He was sent to the front lines.
The Great War.
Of
Women still couldn't vote.
pretty great war.
That's why it was
We
such
were
a
fighting
good
to
war.
prevent that,
Yeah.
right? 'Cause that was, I don't remember how the history went. But
Get all that free mustard for,
he was sent to the front lines of El Paso, Texas. As
El
the
Paso, get the rope. Pace McConaughey call back. Thank you,
There
everybody.
you go. I see that. You see what he did? Okay. That deserved more. Like a full round of applause, and everyone
Thank
stands
you.
up and dances.
I was
real
about to
quick.
throw down the mic.
I know, you should have.
I thought someone would throw a cowboy hat at you, you know?
As the only doctor responsible for 2,200 troops, he lasted 2 days before spending the next month under observation for nervous exhaustion. Oh my God. He was quickly discharged.
What's nervous exhaustion?
You're like,
This whole
in the
story, I'm
corner.
imagining
It's so
like
weird.
a-
That's actually it perfectly.
I'm imagining like a white rednecky dude, but to find out it's like a Rick Moranis Jew. is just
imagine
kind
me fetal position in the corner of the OR.
of- Yeah.
Get off your knees, boy. Wake up. You've seen goats fuck. Get out there on the field and fight.
New Mexico's so hot.
You're stressing me out with your bullets.
John and Minnie returned home to find that another doctor had taken over his practice.
It's like a territory thing, like a gang thing.
But luckily,
But luckily.
they found a newspaper ad looking for a doctor to serve Milford, Kansas, population 2,000. The couple packed their bags and hit the road, arriving to discover there had been a slight miscalculation. Milford didn't have 2,000 people. It had 200.
Ooh, that's a different zero.
But given their mounting debt, they didn't have much of a choice. They rented a 2-room store, doctor drugstore in the front room, their bed in the back. Even with Millie working on the side as a midwife, they were barely able to get by.
That's such a bummer, dude.
Until
46
46-year-old farmer Bill Stitsworth showed up at their door. The large man sat down and explained his problem. He had no pep, a flat tire.
Oh,
Those are quotes, by the way. That's how he describes
But
his
in-
virility issues.
a hose
But
with
in-
no water.
Despite the obvious mark in front of him, John was honest for the very first time, explaining that he had tried treating the issue with serums, medicine, and electricity, but nothing seemed to help.
Why don't you use my mouth? I'm just saying, if he's just trying to find a solution. He needs a job.
I'll blow the candles out.
Then John related the virility of goats and joked. You wouldn't have any trouble if you had a pair of those butt glands in you.
Wait, is he?
That's when Farmer Bill leaned forward and said, well, why don't you put them in?
Holy shit.
Wait. Is he going to do surgery? Is this a centipede thing? Is he taking the goats? Is that what's happening right now?
This is the sexiest Island of Dr. Moreau thing that has ever happened.
John tried to explain this was a terrible idea, but the farmer insisted, even offering to provide the goat.
Wait, John tried to talk him out of it? It was like, no. And they're like, just take your stuff, doctor, cut the stuff out of the goat, put it. That's how bad we want to be hard.
No, hey, I know just the goat. Let me go back.
He picks one, he's like, John, I saw her when I walked in.
I just want to point out this is the halfway point of the story.
Oh, shit.
We're not fully erect yet.
John tried to explain the terrible idea. So, John Brinkley performed the very first goat-to-human testicle transplant.
This really happened.
Shockingly, John Brinkley was not the only doctor working in the weird transplant testicle business.
Did they have anesthesia at this time?
Actually, I don't know that. Probably. I mean, like...
You want to wake
Nice,
up with
liquid
goat
cocaine.
balls, right?
There we
liquid
go.
cocaine? That sounds pretty
That's
nice.
a fun anesthesia.
Anybody got
And
any
that
right
sounds
now?
about right.
That's supposed to put you out?
Yeah, I was gonna say that would just keep you up for 3 days, right?
Yeah.
Make you listen to real shitty music.
Yeah, it gives you wings.
Solve
Must
the
have been
world's
hard for
problems.
dentists, so they're trying to do a drill into your teeth, you're just grinding the entire time.
It's like numb to everything.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dr. Serge Voronov, a Russian who once served as a personal physician to King Khedive Abbas II, king of Egypt, wrote that the testicles of a monkey should keep a man alive and healthy until 150.
They totally work, bro. Look. He's as hard as a rock. Belly dancers, come in. It's working.
Dr. G. Frank Leidston
Dr.
took
G.
the case for virility a further step, transplanting human testicles, 6 of them, into his rib cage.
More balls, Doc. More balls. 6 in his rib cage?
Donated by inmates hanged at San Quentin prison.
Oh.
I just want to say this makes me so proud to be an American because this time in American history, no, Jesus, just throw balls, as many balls as you can in somebody.
I like
it's
how-
got to work somehow.
I like how they're ex-convict balls, too. You're like, we can't just take some weakling that's going to follow rules. His nuts won't work.
That or it was where do you get free balls?
I guess
think
that's true,
the other-
too. That's very
true,
practical. Those balls aren't being used, sir.
Hey, what do you guys teach here at the for your improv classes? Play to the top of your intelligence?
Yes,
All
play
right,
to the
cool.
height of your intelligence.
This one-
Yes,
there you go.
and...
He later decided that it was a silly idea and simply added an extra ball to his own sack.
Perfect.
It's
He
simple
actually
math,
would-
you see.
he would
More balls,
actually-
more
this is-
hard.
This is true. He would walk around the AMA in Chicago and like get other doctors to check it out. He'd be like, guys, look what I did. And then he'd show his third ball.
Did he actually use the sack also? So it was like
Yeah.
a full monkey sack?
No. This was a
Or would the
human-
doctors be like, that's not a human ball?
I did it myself.
It's like a banana.
I really hope he's doing like a 3-card Molly thing. Like, all right, guess which one is mine under the shell? Guess which one is mine under the shell?
2 weeks after Dr. Brinkley's experiment, Bill Stitsworth returned with a smile on his face.
Oh boy.
Soon after, Bill's wife walked through the door, leaving with her very own pair of goat ovaries.
Oh.
Where did they put him?
Just next to the other ones. Like, he didn't attach things, he just, like, shoved them in
Did
there.
they
and was
wash
like-
him first?
Suddenly, the good doctor was inundated with new patients, installing goat testicles on the regular for $750 a pop.
$750?
Yep,
Who's making-
$12,500 a person.
Welcome to Beverly Hills. Plastic surgery right there. So perfect.
Surprisingly, most of his customers were happy with the results. While the glands themselves were simply absorbed by the body as foreign matter, the choice of goat worked in his favor, as his rural clients were well versed in the voracious sexual appetite of goats.
Yeah.
We watch them fuck all the time.
Yeah.
Let's do
This
it.
whole thing is predicated on there being no television because everybody just watched goats fucking all
So
the
true.
time.
That
We
was
got nothing else to do. Oh, there they go again.
It's like watching Whitney. Oh, right, let's just watch some goats fuck.
It's their HBO.
Yeah.
In fact, goatish was a common rural term for horny.
Really?
Yeah.
Horny.
Did Austin Powers say
Are
goat?
you trying to get everyone going with the
Oh,
set?
sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what I do to myself.
The placebo effect provided many men with the desired result. But John's reputation took an even bigger jump a year later when Mrs. Stitworth gave birth to a baby boy. Ever the businessman, John, not a goat boy, like an actual
Okay,
boy.
I was waiting for
saw
the
how nervous
twist.
you were.
The whole room was silent. Like, was it a goat?
Like I said, he didn't cut. He just like shoved goat ovaries in there and was like, well, I did it.
I don't know how female anatomy works. I'm sorry. I figured you throw the goat anatomy.
Beta. You
Yeah,
know?
beta.
Ever the businessman, John took out ads showing himself holding Billy the first goat gland baby.
Billy goat?
Bill, they named him Billy, yeah. Now his dad's name was Bill.
Okay. Were
But,
Billy
yeah.
goats around before that, or did they start calling?
No, that's a thing. Interesting. Yeah.
We're learning history here.
After the ad, it's like Bessie the cow lady from the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. After the ad hit the papers, women flocked from all over, many setting up tents to wait their turn for goat ovaries.
Ooh, I want my goat ovaries.
which Brinkley now advertised as not only a fertility treatment, but also a wrinkle reducer and a bust enhancer.
Oh my goodness.
Just filling women's boobs up with goat ovaries. Oh, they're huge, doctor. A little lumpy, but huge.
Goat ovary cheek implants.
Yeah.
All the
everywhere.
rage.
They're keto, too. They're keto friendly. So
Yeah.
you could eat them all day and you'll lose a lot of weight.
John hired an ad agency to gather testimonials from his former patients and sent information about his success to every doctor in the state, the American Medical Association, and the top 100 newspapers in the country.
So is he's buying his own BS, or is he just like, people are going to believe this now?
They're getting boners, dude. All right, this is...
The proof's in the pudding.
Literally.
Yeah.
All of this
Placebo
could have
or
been avoided if, just porn. Just look at porn. You know what
They
I'm saying?
didn't have porn in those days.
Exactly. If somebody would have said, hey,
It
there's
was
a
all-
naked person, they would avoid shoving goat.
It was all literary and written in that very Jane Austen style. So you're like, can we get to it, please?
Right. 17 pages of taking off her
And
clothes.
then he proposed to her. I'm losing my boner.
They went on many a walk along the waters.
She would bear him many children. Okay, are they going to hit
One
it or
day.
not?
She reached across the picnic basket, and he saw her.
That actually sounds pretty hot.
It does, right?
I love a good picnic fuck.
Only 2 papers published the initial story, but that was enough to set off the publicity explosion. Of course, Dr. John's goat gland operation expanded to cover 27 different ailments, including flatulence. But as a medical professional, he felt compelled to let the public know that the procedure might not work, having only a 95% success rate.
Oh, what a salesman, huh?
Pretty common.
I
the
must
thing, it's
warn
gonna-
you.
It's gonna work too good. I mean, I don't want to get too hard or too wet. Okay, everybody.
The very important disclaimer was that it tended not to work on, quote, stupid types.
So it's condescending to try to
Shame
make
them.
you buy
Yeah.
into it? You're like, well,
Yeah.
I'm not a
Well, the
stupid
initial
type.
ad was like, hey, you get good boners? Like, you do, don't you, right? And then the guys were like, ah, damn. And that's how he started the whole business.
Yeah.
According to him, more customers came. He even started a shuttle service from the Milford train depot, complete with a bus driver who appeared in his ads as Happy Harry.
Y'all are going to love these new boner things that he's going to do to you. All right, wait, they didn't have a bus, did they, in those days? Wait, did they? Horses? No, this is World War I.
This is they have buses.
They have buses?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
buses.
I think I said bus and
Okay.
everything. All right, cool.
They're old-timey buses. but
Old-timey
there's
buses.
buses.
Aruga!
Yeah, so the horn is
But
that.
he had a small problem. John did. He wasn't exactly a surgeon.
Well, put some goat balls in your brain. You'll be smarter.
Yeah, instead of saying, I'm not really a surgeon, he was like, it only works 95%
Sadly,
of the
I'm not a
time.
surgeon. I'm a surgeon
and if
general.
it doesn't, you're just dumb.
Given his not-so-sterile operating room, his unfinished medical education, and his habit for operating while drunk, a number of patients came down with infections, some even died. But being responsible, John traveled to Chicago to attend a brush-up course on surgery, but failed the class due to lack of attendance and an excess of alcohol.
This guy have a good sense of humor? What kind of guy was he?
That's who he is.
All the time? He actually was in class, but when they called his name, he was hyperventilating on the
The
ground.
moment he closed any door, he was,
Instead of cutting back on his work, he decided to expand, buying several plots of land in Milford so he could build the Brinkley Jones Hospital and Training School for Nurses.
And goat fucking.
Before long, Minnie graduated, signing her own degree as she was vice president of the school.
perfect.
Who graduated?
Minnie, his
Oh,
wife.
his
Yeah,
wife?
yeah. As the new top employer in town, John was very popular. In addition to that, he got Milford recognized as an actual town and helped organize a high school. He built the electrical, water, and sewage systems. He rebuilt the church, adding the common feature of a 40 by 100-foot swimming pool. The PR was important because John also had a penchant for less wholesome mischief. He got in trouble for bootlegging, slashing someone's tires with an axe,
Whoa!
That's some effort.
A full
is.
axe? That's badass.
chasing patients out of his hospital with a butcher knife, and allegedly biting off the ear of a colleague.
It's a competitive industry, folks.
But the town loved their benefactor, especially the older, newly virile men. So in 1922, with his fame growing rapidly, John accepted an invitation from Harry Chandler, the owner of the LA Times, to perform a live goat testicle transplant on one of his editors.
You still trust that fake news?
Wow.
On one of the editors.
Imagine that meeting.
Oh, like senators came out for this. This was the rage. There's a story that who was president at this moment? With
Truman.
A W. No, with a W.
Roosevelt, Bush.
Wilson.
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 Actually, there's a story that Woodrow Wilson asked for it, but then that Brinkley was like, only if you will transport me and my goats by car all the way there and back. So I guess it wasn't that good.
Deals off.
Yeah, deals off.
So these people actually, they bought into it. They weren't just
Yeah.
like going to, because it was like watching a wrestling match. They like were like, this is real.
Yeah. Oh, they're all about it.
Oh, wow.
If it succeeded, Chandler promised to make Brinkley the most famous surgeon in America. But the state medical board didn't recognize John's dubious medical license. So the owner pulled some strings, arranged a 30-day permit, and the operation went as planned. It was deemed a success, and John received his advertising and quickly made around $40,000, over $500,000 today, operating on the rich and famous of Hollywood.
Wow.
So like a bunch of like celebrities we know
Celebrities,
of
yeah.
have goat balls?
I mean, this was 1922, so you don't know him probably.
Humphrey
but
Bogart like has
it's
some
mostly
weird
Charlie
balls.
Chaplin.
All silent.
Chaplin had
movies.
weird balls in his shoes, those weird shoes. He had extra balls in his toes. That's where you hide them.
Boom
He
operators.
decided it
They
was
still
time
work
to
the same.
move to La La Land.
Boom operators, he said. Just
Yeah.
holding it up. It actually makes my elbows stronger. You know, I can hold up the boom a lot easier.
Yeah, I'm so strong now.
Yeah, there's a lot of
after I
balls
got
in
those
me.
Goat testes.
Takes a lot of balls to run this film.
But the medical board denied his application for permanent license because, although he didn't know it, John Brinkley had an enemy.
Oh.
Morris Fishbein.
Morris Fishboy.
Yep, there you go. Was an actual doctor, and more importantly, the editor of the Journal of the American Medical Association.
Yeah, searching for truth.
He's a real doctor.
Yeah,
Not someone who has
heroes.
to do this when they say
Yeah,
doctor.
yeah. Notice my hands were on the table and everything for that one.
Gotcha.
When the AMA heard of Brinkley's miracle cure, they sent down an undercover agent to investigate. They were disturbed by the findings, most specifically, a woman the agent met hobbling around the clinic after she'd received a pair of goat ovaries as a cure for a spinal cord tumor.
So he was just using that to cure anything.
But it does.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it works.
Don't you understand the medicine?
What's that, an earache? You need some goat scrote. That's
What are
you
you,
need.
stupid?
Ghost Grow. That's actually, they might have to patent that.
Right?
Ghost Grow?
I'm
Did you buy a degree?
Well, this is what we're going to get to at the end, guys. Plugging a new
You're
product.
going to stand up and drop trowel? The whole reason we did this episode today was to warn you guys.
From that point onward, he was on the radar of the AMA and Morris Fishbein, who had made his career exposing frauds. But when God closes the door, he opens a window. Or she, sorry, if you care. While John couldn't move up to Hollywood, he could bring a bit of Hollywood back to him. He inspired by a visit to Chandler's KHJ radio, John founded his own station, KFKB, Kansas First, Kansas Best. By 1923, he was transmitting at 1 kilowatt, hitting the waves daily to promote his goat gland treatments. But Morris Fishbein wasn't done, and in July of 1924, a grand jury in San Francisco handed down 19 indictments relating to the giving and receiving of fake medical degrees, including one to a certain John R. Brinkley. But when agents came from California to put him under arrest, the governor of Kansas refused extradition because he simply made the state of Kansas way too much money.
Oh, yeah. That's how it works, right? Money talks. Goat balls walks.
Still, the AMA was able to revoke his license. Not that it did much good. The power of the radio station was too much. It now offered a full entertainment portfolio of music, French lessons, astrological forecasts, and of course, lectures by the man himself. KFBK became the #1 radio station in the entire country.
So he buys the station, and then he owns it, so he can advertise his own product without being checked, is what's happening.
You're catching up.
Okay. Thank you for making that.
What's the old saying? Like, never pick a fight with a guy who buys ink by the barrel?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like now with words and airwaves.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
I get it. You own the station, right?
He was named an admiral in the Kansas Navy.
I think that's what he meant.
The Kansas Navy.
Yes, the Kansas Navy.
Oh my God.
The landlocked state of Kansas.
Yeah, they don't have a beach.
And for those of you, I was waiting to see if some of you didn't laugh. I was like, okay, we know how you did. All right, good. He also sponsored the hometown baseball team known as the Brinkley Goats.
He's just
dude.
leaning
Wait
into
a
it now. He's
second.
just like,
Did they have their own? Did they
Head
have
over
their
the
own
metal, you know?
Did they have their own baseballs that were covered in goat fur?
they're shaped like goat's balls.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Still, Brinkley wanted a diploma. So he set his sights on the only place that would still give him one, Europe. Hoping to at least land an honorary degree, he traveled across the pond. Unfortunately, the medical community in Britain had been warned and he was turned away. Finally, he found a home at the University of Pavia, Italy. As soon as Morris heard the news, he petitioned the university to rescind the honor. When they refused, the AMA reached out to the highest authority in Italy, dictator Benito Mussolini, who finally agreed and revoked the license.
Famed good guy Benito Mussolini. He's like, I've had enough.
Yeah, the
Get
guy who's
your-
watching out for the people, Mr. Moose over there, yeah.
Get out of here.
Benny's always been so good.
Il Duce doesn't give you a pass. You got to really check yourself.
In 1927, Minnie gave birth to John R. Brinkley III. Johnny Boy was the darling of his parents. On his first day of school, he rode a tricycle down Main Street, flanked by a bodyguard on foot, while John and Minnie followed in their 16-cylinder limousine.
Oh, he's gonna turn out all right.
Soon, he was inspired to start giving out childcare advice over the radio, of course pushing vaccines from his hospital along the way. John had to again expand his facilities, adding another wing with 100 beds. He next added a new program to KFKB.
That's the radio station.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're listening to KFKB. All right, that's right. I'm just trying to picture it.
Yeah.
Goat balls. All right.
Kansas first.
That's right.
Kansas best.
See, that's a listener you got there. Pays attention and everything.
I'm paying attention. I was watching your lips move. Go.
He had a new program, the Medical Question Box. Listeners would write in with their problems, and he would suggest treatments over the air.
Goat balls. I didn't even
All right.
tell you what my problem was. Trust me. Goat balls. Take
that's
2 of
how-
these and call me in the morning. No, don't eat them.
Click.
That's how WebMD started, you know.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah, the medical question hour.
Very cheap to host, though. Just 1 page.
That's goat balls.
How many servers you guys got? It's just a little bit of text, binary code for goat balls.
It's actually a GeoCities page. We don't even need anything more than that.
We never got a logo made. It was too expensive. We just had the goat balls.
Treatments. Of course, the treatments were one that you could only get at a pharmacy that was part of the Brinkley Pharmaceutical Association, a network that sold his medicines at inflated prices, sending John a cut and keeping the rest themselves. The show was so popular that it brought as many as 50,000 letters per day to the Milford Post Office, which had been to be upgraded to second class, first class reserved for only the largest cities in the nation. This is a town of 200 people.
Jesus.
It's at a whole nother level now just because of this con artist.
In more than 5 states, people collectively stopped going to their doctors, only using John's radio program.
Goodness.
How do their doctors feel?
Estimates on his profits from his over-the-radio medical care are around $750,000 annually, reaching around $10.7 million today.
I just want to say this makes
No
me...
woo for that?
But all wasn't well. Drug companies began reporting that customers were returning to their doctors with their problems having grown worse since the medications were typically misdiagnosed.
Of course.
But the AMA was powerless. They could only try to inform the public. It was a rival paper, the Kansas City Star, upset over his moving into their territory, that fired the first effective shot. They began publishing death certificates of several patients who had passed away after John's care.
That sucks, because now only your death is proclaimed on the press, but now everybody knows you got some goat balls on you, or some goat ovaries.
Some goat ball blood on your hands?
What's that?
No, never mind.
Okay.
For the next several years, the Brinkley controversy, as well as his education, covered the front page of Kansas newspapers. 6 months after losing the medical license, the AMA was able to convince the courts that KFKB was not operating in the public interest, and his broadcast license was pulled. So he did the only thing that made sense and immediately flew to Mexico,
Yeah.
where he signed a 20-year agreement to own a 50,000-watt transmitter, 10 times more powerful than the Milford station. With that, he could blanket North America
Oh my gosh.
and even overpower many local strong stations.
Is that still going on today? Like, is there like a Mexican station that's just saying fuck the border?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's not my expertise. Yeah.
Thought maybe.
Good question, though.
I know. The dead silence makes me realize it was a very important question. Right? Okay.
John returned to Milford and began broadcasting remotely over the phone. Of course, losing his broadcast and medical licenses was just a speed bump for John Brinkley, who decided to parlay his radio fame into a campaign to become the governor of Kansas.
Right. The only logical next step.
Well, if you're the governor, then you run the whole thing. It's
If
like
you're
buying
a
your own-
businessman
You
and a
can-
charlatan and a crook,
And an admiral.
what else do you do
Yeah.
than go on
Governor.
and take over government?
And mandate goat balls for everyone.
Yeah.
Make Kansas great again.
You saw what I was laying down.
Woo! That'd be a funny hat. No, read it closer. It's comedy. I'm just joking.
I just want to see him captaining like a big warship, a big destroyer, be like, "We're coming for Kansas."
Yeah, on the sand, like
Full steam ahead. Slowly.
storming the beach of Kansas is
We're only in Arizona now.
Yeah.
He ran a massive ad blitz, blanking the airwaves of propaganda, arriving at every speech by plane and making weird but fantastic promises like establishing an official state lake in every county.
That's right. And go balls for all the schools.
He was easily the most popular candidate, but
I'm
had an
glad you
uphill
like that
climb
one.
because his name wasn't actually on the ballot.
Huh.
He was too late in declaring candidacy, so he had to settle for a write-in campaign.
Oof.
He still received 29.5% of votes.
Wow.
Losing by only because around 30 to 50,000 ballots were thrown out because of misspellings.
Oh, dear.
Oh, Kansas. Oh, Kansas. You came and you tried to spread, but you couldn't fucking do it.
Adding
Oh,
insult to injury,
We had a
Congress passed the Brinkley Act, outlawing broadcasting from Mexico over the telephone.
Oh.
But it's in his name, so it sounds kind of cool. Right?
So John circumvented the rule by taping his show and sending it over by mail. Although that lasted a few years before Mexico revoked his license under pressure from the U.S.
They have licenses in Mexico?
Or his
Yes,
station.
dude.
They
Okay.
took the station. Yeah. In 1938, Morris Fishbein published a two-part series on, quote, modern medical charlatans, which included a write-up of John's work. Brinkley had enough of the AMA and sued Fishbein for libel and $250,000 in damages. Instead of getting the money, he lost the case as the jury foreman stated that he, quote, should be considered a charlatan and a quack in the ordinary, well-understood meaning of those words. That led to a barrage of lawsuits against John Brinkley, followed by an IRS investigation for tax fraud.
Over.
That's when it's serious.
That's when it gets bad. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
IRS is here? All right, we're fine. Okay.
Fuck. Soon after, they even got Wesley Snipes with that one.
Right?
They'll get you.
They got Wesley?
They got Wesley.
Is he
He's
all right
out now.
He's
good,
out
though.
now? He's good?
Yeah, dude. Blade 4's on the way. Don't worry about it.
White Man
In-
Can't Jump too?
They can this time. It's crazy.
Over!
It's crazy.
Yeah!
In 1941, John was forced to declare bankruptcy. Soon after, the U.S. Post Office began to investigate him for mail fraud, and the stress finally became too much. John suffered 3 heart attacks
Aw.
and had a leg amputated due to poor circulation.
But- it's easier to hyperventilate with less
So
limbs.
good. Yeah.
You know?
On May 26, 1942, a penniless John R. Brinkley passed away of heart failure.
But he died a ball millionaire, though, didn't he?
Epilogue.
Okay.
Billy, the goat testicle baby,
Oh.
who lived until around 1996,
Wow.
What?
Okay.
later said that John Brinkley, in fact, had paid his father handsomely to go along with his goat testicle experiment.
Explain that, because I'm totally lost. What happened?
So the official story had been the farmer was like, give me the goat balls. And the son later was like, oh, no, he paid my dad off a lot to put goat balls in him. And that's the story of John R. Brinkley.
Wow.
Everybody, that's our guy.
Yeah. Who's ready?
I've been sitting on this one for a while.
It's beautiful. Yeah, literally.
There
huh?
was I had to wait for a special occasion for goat balls.
Why not bring it to Sacramento?
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Goat ball capital of the world.
Yeah.
Let's go to IKEA and get some Swedish meatballs. What'd you say? Goat balls in the sack, like the old Misfits song.
I guess it's a,
Oh,
Goat balls in sack. I just caught up to that. It took me a minute. I was too dialed in, but I like that a lot.
It's called sack. I mean, come on. Balls is there for
And
the
you know,
taking.
that wasn't even intentional for this show either.
It's perfect, though, like balls in the sack.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. I like it a lot. Today's
There you
sources include The Bizarre Careers of John R. Brinkley by R. Alton Lee. Charlatan, America's most dangerous huckster by Pope Brock. And, of course, The Evil Robots at Wikipedia.
We still appreciate them, though.
Yeah, there's some good robots, guys.
They do all right.
Chuck, where can people find you when they want to go see you on the interwebs or in real life?
Come to Sacramento Comedy Spot Saturday nights, Anti-Cooperation League, or look me up online with my podcast, Dare Daniel, movie comedy podcast, where we dared to watch horrible movies. Watch them with a film critic buddy of mine.
What was the last movie you saw?
China Salesman. China Salesman starring Steven Seagal and Mike Tyson. Fucking amazing. It's on Netflix. Watch this movie. It's bananas.
Oh,
it's state propaganda for the China government.
This is new?
Yeah, it's brand new. It's on Netflix. You
so
have to
excited.
watch this movie.
I didn't even know Steven Seagal had like an industry job like that again. That's perfect.
He's barely in this movie.
He was also the caterer.
Yeah, right.
They're like, just get on there, do the karate chop yourself.
If you didn't hear that clearly, guys, that's the Anti-Cooperation League here. That's the Sacramento Comedy Spot every Saturday night. So make sure you come back, check them out. They're a lot of fun. And Michelle, where can they find you?
Here also, I'm in Lady Business the third Saturday of every month. You the Musical and Shortcuts the fourth Friday of every month. Super fun times.
Do you guys have socials that our listeners should follow you at?
Yeah, at Corky Knievel on Twitter.
Corky Knievel?
Yeah, Corky Knievel.
We'll
White
put
trash.
that in the show notes.
White trash stuntman Corky Knievel.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. At lady.business.improv.
A lot of dots, lady.
Lots of dots.
There's a lot of that. You can
that's
follow
great.
our show on all social medias at CrimePod, CRIIIMEPOD. You can email the show, crimepodcast@gmail.com, 1 I or 3. Send us your story ideas, questions, dick pics, label those for Shefsky. And
I like them. They're fun.
And if you want to, you can jump on the Patreon because we have extra bonus stuff where we just do stupid shit a lot.
It's great.
If you feel like you didn't get enough of it tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you guys so much
Thank
for
you
being
guys
here.
so much
were a
for
lot of
coming.
fun.
That's been Crime.
Outstanding.
We love
So
each and
much
every
fun.
one of you. Thank you.
Yeah, Crime. Woo!
This was a live recording of the Crime Podcast here at the Sacramento Comedy Festival. For more information on our shows, classes, and special events, please visit www.saccomedyspot.com. Please have a wonderful night, and thank you for visiting the Sacramento Comedy Spot.